So I'm going to show you a few things about Forcat and the tool that goes with it that is called Zeeschuimer. I hope I pronounce it the right way. It's a Dutch word. I don't remember what it means. Someone who watches the sea or something like this. Those two tools are made from the fine people at the Digital Methods Initiative in Amsterdam and the Oil Lab and the teams of great researchers and engineers in this project, Forcat. I think the project is like Forcat SMR. I don't know. So there is kind of a galaxy of those great colleagues of us who develop tools to analyze media data from social media, essentially to do media studies as researchers. Those tools can be repurposed by you to do some of the things. Now, as you know, we live in the apocalypse, in the post-apocalyptic world where the APIs, that's a joke, apocalypse, the APIs have been closed. So it's more and more difficult to harvest data from social media, which is why I'm showing you those tools, but also they are difficult to use. So I cannot even show you entirely how to use that because it's not so easy to use. And part of my message is, if you really want to do it, you will have to go through those difficulties. And but I'm going to show you what the kind of things you can do and what you cannot do. Zeeschuimer is a tool that just harvests the data. And Forcat is the platform that where you would take that data to understand what it is made of and to analyze it. Forcat cannot be easily installed on your computer because it is meant to be installed on a server. If you are comfortable with that, with administrating your own computer, it is not so difficult to install Forcat because it installs on top of Docker. So basically you install Docker, and then whatever you install on top of Docker lives within your computer, but within a container where it doesn't bleed or interfere with the rest of your computer. This is why you don't have a complicated configuration stuff to reconcile how your computer is configured versus what Forcat needs, because Forcat has exactly its own living environment just made for it within Docker, and it's happy with it, and it's all good. So if you would want to install Forcat, you would install Docker on a machine, and then you would install Forcat on top of it. If you wanted to have an instance of Forcat in your organization, it's really easy for the system administrators to do that for you because they know Docker extremely well, and they would just have to install that on Docker on a machine, give you an IP, and then it's done. What Forcat does is allow you to analyze the data that comes from social media, but it doesn't harvest the data because the APIs are closed, except for a few social media maybe. But for most of the stuff that you are interested in, which is LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, maybe Twitter, and X, Blue Sky, all of that, you can no longer query them from an API unless you pay a very expensive access, and even so. So they have created those teams, Zeeschuimer, which is a Firefox extension that just listens to what you do. So it's a little bit, it's a simple tool, a little bit old school, but it works all the time. Except it doesn't work remotely. Basically, it's like walking your dog. You have to take it by the hand and you have to go through the social media yourself, and it will record where you go. It will see what you see. So if you wanted to harvest massive data, it's going to use some of your time. But on the other hand, that's the most efficient and simple way to circumvent all those protections that the platforms have. So for example, how would you log into a platform? Well, you just log in the normal way. You use your own account, or you create a fake account, and then you just go into the platform, and when it asks you to log in, you log in, and then you activate Zeeschuimer, and then you go there. So I'm going to try to install Zeeschuimer and show you how to do it. So what is Zeeschuimer? You can't remember that from how I pronounce it. You have to you have to Google this, and then instruction. Okay. So it's a .xpi file. So they say you install it in your browser. It's available on the releases page. So let's go on the releases page. So this is a release. It has a name because it has updated for a reason linked to Instagram, but it's not an Instagram specific tool. It does everything it can. Let me just check the dates of so the latest version is February, the 17th of February of this year. I'm showing you all those dates because the dates are here too. January, September. The field changes all the time. Zeeschuimer changes all the time, and that's a tool you may have to update relatively often because it's the game of cat and mouse to catch those tools. So they will add protections or change the website, and then Zeeschuimer has to be adapted. So the kinds of platforms it does or doesn't do change over time. So you just take the .xpi file, you download it, and then if you are on Firefox, you need to drag it to the Firefox window, and then it will install. Actually, just downloaded it because I am on Firefox right now. This is the browser I'm using here. It's telling me, okay, do you want to install an add-on? It says it comes from GitHub, but that's because the page of the project is on GitHub. Yeah, I guess that's what it's saying. Install it. It's adding Zeeschuimer. Yes, okay. And so now it's added, and I will pin it to the toolbar. This makes it appear here or not. If it doesn't appear here, it appears in the list of your extensions here. But now it's here. Okay, so Zeeschuimer is here. What happens if I click on it? If I click on it, you can see the kind of platforms it does at the moment. And so you have the list, TikTok, Instagram, with a caveat. So some stuff in Instagram, LinkedIn. So you have the full list. And right now it does nothing in the sense that all of them are deactivated. So unless you do something, it doesn't do anything. So I'm going to try iMager. iMager is a platform of images. And so basically you scroll and then it creates items. Let me just scroll more. 260. And we have an infinite scroll. So the more I scroll, the more it downloads items. And this number is going to raise. Well, at least it should. Yes. No, yeah. So basically what you have to do is this kind of thing I'm doing now, which is to scroll or to navigate so that you harvest more things. And whatever you see, Zeeschuimer downloads. And once you're happy, you deactivate it. Basically, you should download it, or you should send it to Forcat. So if you send it to Forcat, you need to specify what is the Forcat server URL. If it's installed on the same computer you are working on, then Forcat will tell you what is the local URL. If it's one in your organization, the same Forcat will tell you what is the URL. You can just put that here. Then you can just send your thing. Else you can just download the ND.json and then manually put it into a Forcat instance that might be on a different computer. And the idea is that then you would delete the data. Because each session, you don't want that data to agglomerate into like a big universal thing. You're supposed to do a little session. So for example, when I was with Imager, I will, let me say, okay, I delete, I go back on Imager, and now I'm doing a query. I am looking for a brand. So one of you is working with the brand Seb. So I was wanting to do with this. I don't know if Seb is any brand here, but probably not. But whatever, you make a research, a query. Here I'm looking for that guy, whatever, it doesn't work, but everything goes. Now I activate this. I'm going to reload that. And now I should see a few items. Now I'm stopping it. And then I should download that data. And that would be the data for my search. And then I delete this and I do a different search, a different query. You get the idea. So you do different sessions, you do the things you want to investigate specifically, you download the data, then you delete. And that's how you would do micro exploration that then you would analyze. Let me just show you what the data looks like. I should not have deleted everything. Let's go back on imager. Let's scroll more. Okay, downloading the JSON. Yeah, so that's a pretty hairy file where you have a lot of different things, and each platform is different. So that format could have very different shapes depending on which social media you have been investigating. Each of them is going to work differently. Ultimately, it's just a JSON. So you could harvest it and manipulate it as a JSON, but then you will have to understand the data structure. That is why we use Forcat. So the thing that Forcat does to you is that it can extract this data that makes more sense. For example, the list of posts with the date, who wrote them, and so on, what the text is. You can't have that directly from Zeeschuimer. But even if Forcat is complicated to install, the real bottleneck it allows you to circumvent is the harvesting, because there are not many other ways to do it. So what I propose is that this is something you could do, and then someone else, me for example, could put that through Forcat and give you back a CSV, having the kind of items you want to have.